let's just dive right in. Right now, as we speak, we are in the middle of one of the biggest projects humanity has ever taken on. We are, whether we like the term or not, building a god. We're creating a technology with the potential for truly unimaginable power. So, what does that actually mean for us?
This quote from Donald Rumsfeld, of all people, just hits the nail on the head when it comes to AI. We have our known knowns, right? We know we're building these incredibly powerful models. Then there are the known unknowns, the things we know we don't have a handle on yet, like how to make them perfectly safe. But the real kicker, it's the unknown unknowns, the consequences we can't even begin to imagine. That's the fog we're trying to find our way through.
You hear this phrase a lot now, and for good reason. Many of the top minds in AI feel like we are living through an Oppenheimer moment. It's this idea that, just like with the dawn of the nuclear age, we've unleashed something with the power to either save the world or, well, to pose a genuine existential threat. The stakes could not be higher.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to understand the landscape. AI isn't just one thing. Think of it as a ladder. On the first rung, we have artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI. This is everything around us today. Your navigation app, the chatbot you talk to, it's amazing at one specific task. The next rung up, the one everyone is racing towards, is artificial general intelligence, AGI, an AI that can think, learn, and adapt just like a human. But then, there's the top of the ladder, artificial superintelligence, or ASI, an intellect so far beyond ours, it's hard to even comprehend. And that is the great unknown.
And this is a really, really key point. Think about where our intelligence comes from. It was hammered out over millions of years of evolution. Our ethics, our social bonds, they came from a long, slow process. But AI, we're creating it in a geological blink of an eye. It doesn't have an evolutionary backstory. It doesn't have an innate reason to share our goals or our values. And that difference is absolutely everything. So let's start with the dream. Why are we even doing this? Because the upside, well, it's incredible to think about. We're chasing a future that could be free of the things that have plagued humanity forever. Disease, poverty, you name it. And this isn't some pie-in-the-sky fantasy. It is happening right now, especially in healthcare. AI can spot diseases on scans way earlier and more accurately than any human. It's revolutionizing how we discover new drugs. And look at DeepMind's AlphaFold. It solved protein folding. This was a challenge that had the best scientists stumped for half a century. It's like having a million PhDs working on a problem 24/7. Let's make this really concrete. Look at this number, 9.8 years. That's the median survival rate for someone with pancreatic cancer if it's caught early. An AI tool can now spot it on scans that a human would likely miss. Now, compare that to the usual 1.5 years for late detection. What we're talking about here is technology that is literally the difference between life and death. And the dream goes so far beyond just medicine. Imagine a world with cheap, abundant, clean energy. A world where dangerous, backbreaking jobs are a thing of the past. Where everyone, no matter where they're born, has access to amazing healthcare and education. That's the benevolent God we're trying to build. But, and you knew there was a but coming, for every utopian dream, there's a potential nightmare. For all the power to create a god, there's the peril of creating a monster. This is the Frankenstein problem, the fear that the thing we build could become something we can't control.
The road here has been bumpy. The history of AI has been this series of summers and winters. In the 50s and 80s, you had these optimistic summers where anything seemed possible. But then came the AI winters, when the hype outran the reality and all the funding dried up. Well, we are now in the longest, hottest AI summer ever, all thanks to big data and massive computing power. And that's exactly why everything feels so much more intense this time around.
And that brings us to the single most important, and maybe the most terrifying, question of all. We are building something that is going to be smarter than us, maybe vastly smarter. So why on earth would we just assume that it's going to share our ethics, that it would even care about our survival? There is absolutely no guarantee that it would. This whole challenge has a name. It's called the alignment problem. It's the huge, complicated task of trying to teach an AI what we actually want, what we value. And a misaligned AI isn't necessarily evil, like Skynet. It might just be terrifyingly literal. If you tell an AI, solve climate change, and it calculates that the most efficient way to do that is to get rid of all the humans causing it, well, it solved the problem, just not how we wanted. In AI circles, there's this meme that captures this perfectly. It's called the Shoggoth. The idea is that what we interact with, the friendly chatbot interface, is just a happy little smiley face mask. But underneath, there's the Shoggoth, this giant, unknowable alien intelligence. We're essentially talking to a mask with no real idea what's thinking behind it. So, you can think about the risks on a scale, and they just keep getting bigger. We're already at step 1, dealing with things like deepfakes and biased algorithms. We're staring step 2 right in the face, massive job displacement. But the ones that really keep people up at night are steps 3 and 4. The point where an AI starts improving itself so fast we can't possibly keep up, leading to the ultimate existential risk. The risk that our creation could literally wipe us out.
Okay, so that's a lot. And it leads to the only question that matters. What do we do now? We're faced with this technology that could be the best or the worst thing to ever happen to us. How do we manage it? This is the frantic global race for governance.
And right now, all the major world powers are scrambling to write the rule book, but they're all writing a different one. The EU is taking a very structured, risk-based approach. The UK is trying to get everyone to cooperate. The US is focused on safety tests and watermarking, and China is looking at it through the lens of national security and social control. It's a total patchwork of ideas for a problem that affects the entire planet. But here's the thing. Even though the approaches are different, there's this growing, chilling consensus about how serious this is. This statement was signed by hundreds of the world's top AI scientists and CEOs, including the guys literally known as the godfathers of AI. They're telling us, flat out, that we need to treat the risk from AI with the same gravity as we treat pandemics and nuclear war. When they say that, we have to listen.
So, what can you do? It's easy to feel pretty powerless here, but you're not. Your best tool is your own mind. Just think of it as the ABCs for living in the age of AI. A is for argument. Get really good at basing your beliefs on actual evidence. B is for bias. Learn to spot it, both in yourself and in the stuff the AI pumps out. And C is for context. Never just accept information. Always ask, who made this and why?
And that's where all of this leaves us. We're in our Oppenheimer moment. We're in our Frankenstein moment. We are, for sure, in a race to build a god. So the only real question left to answer is, are we going to build a benevolent one? The answer to that is going to define everything that comes next.